Hey everyone, we're pleased to announce that this episode of the 84 Million Podcast is brought to you by our friends at Luxxfolio. Inspired by Bitcoin's success as a corporate treasury asset, the team at Luxxfolio is pioneering the Litecoin treasury strategy as the very first publicly traded Litecoin treasury company. Confident in Litecoin as a hard, scarce, and sound digital currency, Luxxfolio is proving that digital silver is now institutional grade. With a robust Litecoin balance sheet, Luxxfolio is committed to actively supporting the Litecoin ecosystem, collaborating with developers, miners, media, and others, promoting further Litecoin adoption. Luxxfolio is setting the standard for Litecoin adoption at the corporate level. Learn more at luxxfolio.com, luxxfolio.com. This episode is also sponsored by LitVM, Litecoin's virtual machine. LitVM enables smart contract capabilities and Web3 applications for Litecoin. Designed for builders, LitVM features a modular ZK stack that operates on top of Litecoin and is powered by industry leaders such as Bitcoin OS, Arbitrum, Espresso, Succinct, and Caldera. Together with all the other builders in the ecosystem, LitVM is advancing the Litecoin Meta. Learn more at litvm.com. When it comes to mining, pools matter. This is why we recommend POWERPOOL. POWERPOOL is a mining pool built by miners to maximize profits. If you're mining from home or have a larger scaled operation, use POWERPOOL for the best payouts. POWERPOOL supports SHA-256, X11, Blake 2S, EagleSong, K-Heavy Hash, and of course our favorite, S-CRYPT for Litecoin, Dogecoin, Bellscoin, and others. Mining with POWERPOOL is easy with its simple user interface, and the platform has all the reporting exports that you're looking for. POWERPOOL typically charges a 1% fee, but if you use the 84 million link in the show notes, you will pay less than 1%, which is excellent. So sign up, point your machines, and start mining with POWERPOOL for lower fees and better payouts. Cheers, happy mining. Hello and welcome to the 84 Million Podcast. We're here with Merrick Theobald on episode number 52. So before I give him an introduction, I just want to say we're very glad to have you. BitPay has nearly become a meme to the Litecoin community. And of course, we're going to talk about all of that. But Merrick Theobald, he is Vice President of Marketing at BitPay, a powerful enterprise-grade platform for crypto, acceptance, payouts, and spending. He has more than 25 years experience in the FinTech industry. Prior to BitPay, Merrick held marketing leadership roles at BillMo, iSend, and CheckFree Fiserv. He resides in North Atlanta. He's not on X, but you can visit bitpay.com. Merrick, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Kyle. This is great.
Glad to have you. Like I said, BitPay has become very popular with Litecoiners and maybe those who just like Litecoin. Okay. So we're really glad to have you. Before we kind of dive in, any plans to go to the Euro Summit this year? I know you were at the last two stateside in terms of the Litecoin stuff.
I would love to. We'll just have to see. I mean, it's quite a big trip for me to get over to Amsterdam, but we love the Litecoin Summit. We love the Litecoin community, so I'm going to do everything I can to get there. And if I can't get there, we would like to have somebody from BitPay there. We do have some local representation in Europe, and it might be easier for them to make the trip, but somebody from BitPay will be there.
Fair enough on that. Good word. Before we get into stats, maybe we look at kind of the background. I don't imagine you were there from day one. I'm not expecting that, but you are with BitPay. You know a few things about them. So maybe we talk about the beginnings. The platform launched in 2011 as Bitcoin-only payments, if I'm correct. And basically, what did the space look like at the time? Clearly, you were filling a void.
Absolutely. And thank you for bringing that up, because 2011, I mean, this May, we have an internal debate on whether it's May or June, but it'll be 15 years. So our 15-year anniversary will be happening. So that's a long time in the blockchain world. So a year or two in the blockchain world is a long time. As you mentioned, 15 years is an eternity. We were filling a void. There wasn't anything like BitPay at that time, right? If if someone wanted to use their Bitcoin, and we're again speaking just Bitcoin today, um, for payment or to buy something or to exchange something, it was a peer-to-peer payment. That's what it had to be, and that's the only thing that happened. But businesses did not want that, right? They didn't understand it. They didn't know anything about it. There was still a little bit of volatility with it, a lot of volatility, even though exchanges weren't even popular at that time. They were just starting. So some of the bigger exchanges. So yeah, no, we were filling a void. Bitcoin at that time was a great tool, great resource, but there was no way to use it in the real world. And that's why BitPay was created, so that you could use your Bitcoin back then in the real world as a utility, and buy, products or services with it.
And you're still here. This is terrific. I didn't know if you had peers. And I was going to ask if you did, are they even around? But it sounds like you didn't have many at all. Or no.
No, we really didn't have any at all back then. Again, there were some that were accepting Bitcoin, but it was more on a peer-to-peer type plan, not like BitPay, where we were crypto in, fiat out type of settlement that we did. So we didn't have any direct competition back then. We have more today, but still, even today, no one does what we do directly. We are still known for working with large enterprise companies, accepting crypto and settling directly in fiat. No knowledge of cryptocurrency or blockchain needed, no crypto wallet needed. They just want to be able to accept cryptocurrency, enjoy the benefits of cryptocurrency, but still get settled in fiat like they do with any of their other payment methods today. And so, again, yes, we do have more competition today, but no one really does it like we do it today.
Yeah, very good. I will mention a competitor, Coinbase, just because everybody knows who they are.
Mm-hmm.
But you preceded them, I want to say, looking at your statistics, by 7 years, I think, in terms of, how do I say?
Coinbase Commerce?
Coinbase Commerce, yes, not the
Right.
exchange, Coinbase Commerce.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. So yeah, they originally started off an exchange. Our founders know their founders type of thing. I mean, again, if you were around in 2011, you're going to know everybody in the industry, and that's how it is today. So, but yeah, they originally started off as an exchange, added Coinbase Commerce, but even they don't do direct fiat settlement, which makes sense because they're primarily an exchange, right? So you'll get settled in some type of stable coin that eventually will be swept into your bank account. But we have that direct settlement, and that's what makes us different, and that's what makes us unique too.
Mm-hmm. Well, BitPay is doing the Lord's work in terms of allowing Bitcoin, and of course Litecoin now and other coins, to be used as money. I mean, we believe that these are primarily monetary, they're monies, right? They were designed to be better monies, in fact. Yet so much narrative change in the past, as you mentioned, 15 years almost of your platform, a little bit longer for Bitcoin, in terms of its genesis and creation. But, people in the early days, we wanted to spend our Bitcoin. Okay. And that's definitely been challenged. In fact, you have sort of the maximalist impulse, and I understand not every Bitcoiner is a maximalist, but they're very loud. And they would even argue, don't even spend your Bitcoin. So what have you seen in terms of use or the demand for, I want to use my crypto for payments for their primary purpose, maybe between launch day and 2026?
Right. Well, that's a very interesting question, and almost an open-ended question there too. We're seeing a lot. I mean, every currency is different with how it's being used. As you mentioned, you're not going to see people that own Bitcoin use it for everyday purchases. You tend not to see that, but what you do see people with Bitcoin do is buy those luxury items. Especially those that bought Bitcoin back in, any year, 2017, 2019, 2021, they're gonna cash out and they're gonna diversify. So they're gonna take it and they're gonna buy a luxury item. And so we see that quite often with Bitcoin. For everyday utility factor, stable coins are becoming more popular. Litecoin is very popular with digital goods, digital services. So every coin has its unique use case, and we just have to be there for it. And adapt as it adapts too. Again, people are saying don't spend Bitcoin. So how do you use your Bitcoin if you can't spend it? We look at other ways to do that. Now you can take loans out on your Bitcoin, so you're not selling it today, but you still want to buy that house or that condo or that auto or that gold watch. So we look at other ways that you can use your cryptocurrency, and we have to be able to adapt too as times change, and adaptation happens too.
And in terms of bear markets versus bull markets, I imagine you're seeing variances of patterns too.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's funny. When it is a bull market, we have people knocking on our door. We can't even answer the door. There's so many people knocking on the door. But at that point, and I'm referring to merchants and such too, they're too late, right? You got to anticipate the bull market, and you got to be ready so that when the bull market happens, you can participate and take those transactions in. So a lot of times, yeah, when it's in the news, the press is covering it. We got companies all over the world knocking on our door, but by then it's too late because it takes some time to register, to onboard, to KYB your business, and everything that we need to do from a regulatory environment today that we didn't have back then. So if you're a business and you want to accept it and you want to be ready for the next bull run, you need to start today and don't start when the run is actually happening. But it's funny too, from a consumer perspective. Yeah, people are spending. They are some are very smart investors in that they will sell at a high price, and often they buy gold, which they can also hold. And then so they're playing both sides of the market. They play the gold side of the market, they play the cryptocurrency side of the market, and we have gold merchants, so we get the benefit of that. And then eventually they'll sell that gold and they'll buy Bitcoin again. So they play both sides of the market. So it's fascinating to watch.
A little bit of a personal anecdote, and I'll mention, and now I don't know if you're still servicing them, but I remember 2017, maybe 2018, the first time I used BitPay was to get metals off of the American Precious Metals Exchange, APMEX. Do they still use
Yes.
BitPay?
Yeah, they're still one of our loyal partners, and a great partner of ours too.
And that was an amazing moment for me, using this fake internet money, as we call it, right? I think we believe it's a little more than that, but still, I mean,
Right.
it gets a little surreal when you start spending it. You're buying gold and silver with Bitcoin or Litecoin. It feels a little different, and it kind of hits home. So
It does.
it's you can still do that at AppMex. Very cool.
Yep.
In terms of, this is the only one, and I'm not trying to troll anybody, okay? Like I said, Litecoins love BitPay, and we use it. But it took a minute, to kind of get that support. And I think there was some possibly controversy. I don't know. I'm asking you, because 2011 was the faster, lighter version of Bitcoin, Litecoin. Charlie Lee launched it the same year that you guys built out your initial stages of BitPay, yet it took about 10 years until we saw support at BitPay. So could you maybe tell us what the delay was about, or was there any infighting to pull Litecoin on board? How did that work? How did you integrate it?
I don't say there was any infighting, and that was just to be honest with you, I was just starting at that time
Fair
too,
enough.
so I had no say
Fair enough.
in it either. But I will say, again, you mentioned Bitcoin maximalists. We made some changes over the years that not everybody agrees with, so we were careful not to make a lot of changes or make too many changes or go too fast. But you know what? We saw that the market was changing, right? I mean, we can't possibly add every cryptocurrency coin token
Certainly.
out there, right? So we only add those that we believe in. I mean, there's some things that we have to look at. One, how many exchanges offer that coin? Because one of the benefits that we provide for BitPay to a consumer is we give you the best exchange rate that we can give you. We're not working with one exchange. We aren't even an exchange. So we shop different exchanges, and we would like the coins that we directly and natively support to at least be on 4 to 5 different exchanges so that we could shop and get the best exchange rate. So that could be it. And then it could be just adoption. Do our customers using it, buying it? our merchants requesting it. So we get a lot of feedback from our merchants and our merchant partners. And if they provide us with feedback, hey, I've got customers and they're asking to use this coin, then we do some research on that coin. So there's a lot of variety, or I guess reasons maybe why it happened. But we're glad it happened, right? I mean, we love Litecoin. It's our number one coin as far as transaction numbers. So people are using it, and we love the fact that people are using it. So could it have happened earlier? Possibly. But it didn't. But it did happen, and we're extremely happy with Litecoin and those that hold Litecoin and those that are using their Litecoin.
Yeah, and the Litecoin community does believe in using it. We don't say never sell it. We say use it.
Yeah.
It's there to be used. And if you can't use your Bitcoin, you can use your Litecoin. But I still believe you can use your Bitcoin. Of course, many others do too. You guys are seeing that especially. How does Bitcoin versus Litecoin look, for example?
Well, according to transaction volume, the dollar amount, Bitcoin is still number one, right? Litecoin's up there, but you more transactions, but the average order value for Bitcoin is considerably higher than Litecoin. So, and that just shows you that they're buying luxurious items or gold and precious metals, right? They're using their Bitcoin for big ticket purchases, not as many, but the average order value is much higher.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I do know that, and everybody, if you haven't seen bitpay.com/stats, it's a great page. We appreciate you for publishing it. You can track it month to month. And like you mentioned, Litecoin has led, I want to say, nearly every month for about 2 years. And I think it stops at one point. You can't go back any further, but it's pretty astounding that people are choosing to use Litecoin. Can you describe kind of its ascendance to number one in terms of the choice that people are using on your platform?
Yeah, we thought it would be good. We didn't realize it was going to be this good and to elevate to number one. And we're excited that it's still maintaining. So that just shows that, people are using it and they want to use it. And as I mentioned, it's primarily for digital purposes, but there are other categories that they're using it in too. VPN and hosting is a big one. Internet, oh gosh, computer games. Prepaid gift cards is another one that we sell, and people are using their Litecoin for. But those are good industries. The other one is, and we also do the payout side here. So not only do we do pay in, but we do pay out. And Litecoin became our number one coin as far as payouts, which means people want to receive Litecoin, and we do that for payroll. It's rewards, it's rebates, it's for affiliate payments, for a variety of different use cases. But people want to receive Litecoin because they know it works. They can transact with it, and all the other benefits of Litecoin. So they definitely want to receive it too, which is great.
And it's a very low fee. It's maintained low fee. It's maintained the 2.5-minute blocks. It's never been down. So it's a solid coin. That's amazing. I think we're all just kind of impressed. So if you want to spend your Litecoin, consider BitPay. What's the experience like for someone who hasn't used BitPay? Can you maybe walk us through that?
From assume a consumer perspective?
Consumer point versus merchant, yeah.
Right. Well, it's going to vary. The first time using any, I guess, BitPay for a crypto payment, you might have to do a couple extra things, but after you get through that, because it's the whole regulatory environment, unfortunately, in many areas we have to KYC, so we're gonna have to get past that. But once you get through that, the payment process is great. You scan a QR code, so everything we do in the payment world is presented on a QR code. So all the information is on that QR code. How much in US dollar? We'll present on that QR code a time. You have 15 minutes to complete a transaction, and we guarantee the exchange rate for that 15 minutes. So you'll see some people check the exchange rate real quick on different exchanges to see what we're presenting is actually a good exchange rate. So yeah, but after that, if you have your phone, you just use your phone, you scan it. We ask a couple questions. We need to know what wallet you're using. We need to know what coin you want to use, and then payment can be complete after that. It's a really quick process. But again, that first time, probably most likely you're going to have to be KYC'd. So you might as well just get through that. And then after that, it's easy.
Right. So it's not really a wallet. It's more of a pass-through for the consumer. They can use whatever wallet they want to communicate to the presented QR code.
Absolutely. Now, um, there is no protocol per se for wallets, right? Payment protocol. We developed a payment protocol and it's out there because we're in the payment business. So we want wallets to code to our payment protocol. So some wallets work better. I will tell you that. If you're buying a large ticket item, I would want to know that your wallet is payment protocol enabled. And if it isn't, you might want to consider moving or transferring over to a wallet like BitPay or another one that is payment protocol enabled, because not all wallets are the same. Sometimes you'll have an underpayment or an overpayment. Timing is a little bit different. Because there is no central authority in charge of crypto wallets, they're all a little bit different. But we feel like ours works best because we're the payment company, right? So we know how it should work. So we have make sure that our wallet works like that. But there are other payment protocol wallets. So I would be, again, if you're going to make a large ticket item purchase, make sure that the wallet that you're using is payment protocol enabled. And if not, you might want to buy something small to start with to see that it works properly. But yeah, no, we work with all crypto wallets.
And what about merchant side? If someone's listening, they've got a business, they want to start taking crypto, they want to use BitPay. What does that process look like to onboard a new merchant?
Yeah, so you can go to our website today. I believe there's a wait list, but that's going to be removed shortly. We've been contacting people on the wait list that they're eligible, and ultimately we'll just remove that wait list. Again, when the bull run happens, we get so many requests, and we possibly can't go through them. It unfortunately it takes as much time to onboard a small merchant as it does sometimes a large merchant. So that's unfortunate. But you can go to bitpay.com. You can go to register, and you'll see the steps to become a merchant. And if you get put on the wait list, you'll email you and you'll receive a notification that you've been off the wait list and now you're able to register. But it's a very easy process. Again, we're going to collect all the same information that you would need to provide to a bank if you were opening a bank account. That's the best way to look at it. So if you feel comfortable with opening a bank account and the information that you provide to a bank to open a bank account, then you'll be able to open an account with BitPay. And that's just what we have to do. We're in a highly regulated environment today, different jurisdictions all over the world. And we had to be able to adapt and work with that too. So that's where we are today.
Maybe two questions about that. And thank you for that. What sort of jurisdictions where do you see most people using BitPay? Where have you had your successes? And then maybe on the other side, what have been the challenges? Maybe some areas that you're not servicing that you'd like. If you can speak of these things.
Yeah, well, I'll speak to what I can speak to. But North America is obviously where we see a lot of our transactions, right? We've done very well. North American merchants have our early adopters. We have some that go back many years, including big brands like AT&T and Microsoft go back many years. You mentioned AppMex, right?
Yep.
WordPress was one of our first. So
wow, yeah.
A lot of early adopters in North America. Europe is probably our second market that we do really well in. Now, but the problem in areas of the world is their licensing keeps changing. One time you need this license, and you know what? Now you need this license. So now we have to change and chase that license and get that license. So that's, I think, the hardest part. And we just got to stay on top of that. I think countries understand that it's not going away. So they need to be able to create something that they feel comfortable with. And that's what we're starting to see. But I will tell you that the U.S. laws and regulations are way stricter than any other country. So we often adhere to the U.S. And if we're adhering to the U.S., the other ones are easy for us to adopt and work with. But more and more countries are trying to do their own thing, which is a little bit hard. Even in the United States, every state wants to be different in some way too. So you have to You have to have state licenses in the United States. So the regulatory environment is probably the hardest thing that we have to deal with, but we can't be in business if we're not working with the regulators and having the licenses and obtaining the licenses as I ask for those too.
And you mentioned you have folks in Europe earlier in the episode. How many countries are you operating in? Do you have a number?
Well, we're allowed to operate in every country that the United States allows us to operate in. And then there are countries that don't view crypto as that friendly. So we probably not in those. I mean, if you're looking at potential countries, probably 150, 160.
Wow.
But then it comes down to, can we settle? That was the other one. So you have the regulatory environment, but the other part is, can we settle? And do we have banking relationships? So, there was a few years where having a banking relationship was kind of hard, kind of tough. It's been relatively easier the past year or two. So we hope that that's the future too. Now, especially with stable coins, that's the buzzword. And I think more and more countries, banks are understanding crypto because of stable coins. I think that'll help. But banking relationships is another one. So if you want to get settled in your local currency, we settle in, I think, 7 fiat currencies. We can settle in cryptocurrency as well, but 7 fiat currencies. So if you're okay with one of those fiat currencies, then we could probably settle with you. But there still has to be a banking relationship in your country too.
Okay. This is a little bit off topic. You do obviously payments, payouts. Do you also have a like salary solution for like auto pay for your like paycheck? I don't know where I'm getting this from. Do you?
We have a product that can be used for a payroll payout.
That's what I'm referring to. Payroll. You've started to.
Well,
go ahead.
Right. Yeah. So actually, as employees of BitPay, we have the option of taking our payroll in cryptocurrency. Litecoin being one of the options, Bitcoin being another option. I think USDC, a couple stable coins. Many of us do. Now we have a small incentive to at least get a little bit in it, and the company will match it. So yes, but it's not integrated with our payroll processor yet. And that's what we need. Is we need these large payroll companies to actually integrate us into it. That makes it even, what a great employee benefit. You have all these other benefits. Why not give them the benefit to take a portion of their payroll in cryptocurrency?
Right.
And because we offer stable coins too, I think companies can feel better that it's not Bitcoin and that volatile, right? You're going to get paid on a Friday and you get paid in Bitcoin. And next thing you know, it drops 20% and then they just lost 20% of their salary. But the consumer has a choice. They can get stable coins if they want, or they can get Litecoin, which isn't as volatile. So I hope one day that we'll start to see some payroll companies actually adopt it and integrate it into their systems.
So if I were to go, there's not something I could tap into today, or anyone listening to say, hey, I want my payroll, in Litecoin or a stable, I'll use BitPay. That hasn't been rolled out per se yet.
No, you can do it. It's just, yeah. So it's you're going to send us a file, right? So the HR department of your company or a company is going to send us a file and says, all right, these employees, all we need is their email address and the amount in US dollar that they should receive. Now there is, again, KYC the first time. Mm-hmm. They have to create an account with BitPay, and after that, it's set it and forget it. So if it's a recurring thing they get every paycheck, they don't even have to worry about it. Their payroll company or their HR sends us a spreadsheet, says goes to this email address for $100 US, and it automatically happens. So it's a great. Otherwise, you got to wait for it to hit your bank account. Once it hits your bank account, then you can go to an exchange and buy your Litecoin if you want to, but that's a delay and there's an extra cost in there. Yeah. This is the most direct route that you can if you want to use your payroll to get. And again, it's not just payroll. It's the same product that we do rewards and rebates and cross-border payments. It's the same product. So because you offer it for one use case, you get to use it for all these different use cases too.
Okay. Do you want to go into any of those other things you just mentioned, the rewards or anything else? Tell us about those.
Well, yeah, I
Is
mean,
this more business side again, like a corp or, some sort
right,
of
right.
business can offer this to those that work for them?
Well, yeah, or if they have a product, if you have a business and you provide any type of rebate or reward to customers, maybe you're an e-commerce store and you're used to giving, I don't know, gift cards or not, cash back, right? Why not offer crypto back? So we actually had a merchant a few years ago that did crypto back on any purchase. They were going to give cash back, and they said, well, let's offer crypto back, regardless of how you pay. You can pay with BitPay with crypto, or you can pay with credit card, or PayPal, or you can pay whatever, regardless of how you pay. But you were going to get crypto back, and they said it was probably one of the most successful promotions that they've ever had because people would still use their credit card and receive crypto back, and that's what they wanted, right? So it I don't know. That's some people were getting into cryptocurrency, and that's what a great way to get into cryptocurrency without having to buy it yourself. You're actually given it per se. Um, so yeah, I think merchants, the rewards and the rebates are huge. Payroll is going to be huge. But yeah, we need to work with a company today, and they need to offer it to their employees or their customers. That's how we work with it today.
Right. Very good. You have a lot of things going on at BitPay. I do want to ask, I think there's been a lot of focus on privacy coins, and I know that can be a little bit tough with regulation. Um, I MWeb on Litecoin is a privacy layer. It was set up in such a way that it is regulatory friendly, put it that way. It's not a pure play privacy coin from block zero like a Monero or anything like that.
Mhm.
That was strategic on behalf of how it was designed and adopted by the foundation, etc. I know Charlie was emphasizing it. He researched it quite a bit before even implementing it. There was a lot of discussion on what should this look like. But Litecoin does have MWeb. There are optional private transactions that you can have on chain with Litecoin. Will we see options to pay and get paid out through the MWeb layer at any point? Is that even on the radar?
Um, I don't think it's on the radar just because of all the different regulatory things that we have to work with right now. I will say that's our biggest issue is, it needs to be transparent or sufficiently transparent enough for compliance, right? Merchants often need to be audited, so we need to make sure that there is some type of visibility into it. So that's, again, I'm not knowing how much visibility and I guess MWeb has. I can't say that it's not going to happen, but I can say that the Moneros of the world will never happen because of the regulatory environment that we live in and because of the regulators that we have to work with, right?
Right.
So that will never happen, at least at BitPay, because we have to be able to do, the compliance side of it, the enhanced due diligence sometimes. And those just won't be able to work well with that environment. But I do believe that, financial privacy is important, right?
Right.
If you look at it today, if someone knew your wallet address, your public wallet address, they can go online and see every transaction that happens from your public wallet.
Exactly.
Right. So I understand the financial privacy aspect of it. It's kind of like a credit card. Um, people have credit cards. They were able to get them because they were KYC. There was some compliance or regulatory aspect to it. But unless you give me your credit card number, I don't know anything about it. And even if you gave me your credit card number, I couldn't tell you everything that you were using it for or where you bought it.
Yeah.
So,
There's no credit card explorers.
right. So I think it could. I think it's going to get there one day.
Yeah.
We just have to listen. We just have to listen to the regulators.
And fair enough. Yeah.
They have to be open to it and willing and understand it. And if they are willing and open to it and they understand it, then I think you could see it moving into that direction. But it's all in the regulatory environment, I think.
Right. Well, we'd love to see that day, and maybe Litecoin can lead there too when you start, when the environment changes. I was curious. I had a feeling, that again, even implementing MWeb, making the decisions, with developers and how should this look, it's quite challenging, to navigate that. And you can't really know because regulations can change at any point. But it is interesting. So on the other hand, if we were paying with Litecoin to BitPay, to the QR code you described, you can peg out of MWeb to any Litecoin address. Would you have a blocking layer that if we pegged out of MWeb to pay that invoice, would it stop it or would it be fine?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
All I know is we just need to. At times, you need to know where the money's coming from. Unfortunately,
sure,
right? There's the anti-money laundering that we have, the processes that we have to follow, and all the other processes that we have to follow. So it depends on the visibility, and I guess I don't know. When we get there, I think we'll just have to see.
Yeah.
But again, we like financial privacy. Maybe we need something more than there is today, but it's not really our decision. It's the regulatory environment. So if anything, I think that, and I don't know if this would ever happen, is and maybe Charlie is working with some of the regulators or having discussions with them, but they need to be part of it, right?
Right.
Because BitPay won't be able to do anything if the regulatory environment doesn't support it.
Yeah, understood.
Yeah.
We like BitPay. We want them to do things right and move forward, not, have an issue. But these are important questions, and I think we have to wrestle with it at all levels, consumer level, enterprise level. It's just like, what are we doing with privacy? Because I think we have a right to it, right? Just principally, we have a right. We have a lot of protections on privacy in this country, even though maybe they've been eroded in many ways. So it is important.
It's funny though, because people think of, if you don't know much about cryptocurrency and you only know what you've heard on the news or read, people think that Bitcoin especially is this monetary system that is used by all these illegal operations around the world. And is it used by illegal operations? Probably. More so in the beginning than today.
Yeah.
But anything on the blockchain is so transparent, right? That's why the U.S. federal government is able to recover money, because they can follow it. The problem is you don't know what happened.
Yeah.
But it went from this wallet address to this wallet address at this time and for this much. So it's more transparent than the U.S. dollar. So they're
dramatically,
but it is, and people think it's yeah. So, but I think there could be some more financial privacy again, because if you ever got my public wallet address, you could probably see a lot of transactions out there.
Yeah.
And that's what we don't want. We want you to have your financial privacy, but in a way that we can still operate and accept payments and be comfortable, or the regulators could be comfortable too.
You got it. Yeah, I think the older days of Bitcoin and Litecoin, I mean, the standard layer is exactly like Bitcoin. It's transparent. Everything can be, you got your TXID, you got wallet addresses, you can search everything you want. And there's a benefit to that, right? Auditability, et cetera. But I think in the old days of anonymity, sure, you can get, but now especially with KYC, you're putting your name, address, everything there, and here's your wallet address, good luck. So, I think it's actually way more restrictive than, like you said, using dollars or something like this. And of course, no one has any prohibition to use dollars. So, so we'll see. But we digress a little bit. I got a few more questions. I'm conscious of our time here. These have been fielded from the community. We sort of touched on them, I think. But let's start with this one. Does BitPay support the Lightning Network for Bitcoin and Litecoin? What does demand look like for the Lightning Network?
Yeah, so you thought it took us a while to accept Litecoin. It took us even longer to accept the Bitcoin Lightning Network, right? So, so we accept the Bitcoin Lightning Network to answer the question. We don't accept Litecoin Lightning Network. And we see some volume, not a lot of volume. You can actually see, I think on our stats page, we compare the average order value for Bitcoin and the average order value for Bitcoin Lightning Network and then Litecoin. So we still see a lot of transactions that are, Litecoin and Bitcoin Lightning Network actually compete for that same average order value. We have more transactions in Litecoin. But we don't see a lot of Bitcoin Lightning transactions. Again, you have to have a special wallet. The BitPay wallet is not Lightning enabled, so that's a little more. The transaction amount has to be less. So most people that are using their Bitcoin are using it for luxury items. That's going to put them outside the limit of Lightning Network amount. So we just won't see it. Again, it's being used. It's just not being widely used. But we have it.
It's good.
So
if you have it, people can use it. I mean, more options are better. That's my opinion. So this next one says, I've tried getting added as a BitPay merchant, and it says there's a wait list. What's being done to make it easier to onboard merchants to accept Litecoin? You sort of already touched on that.
Yeah. Again, ideally, in an ideal world, we should not have a wait list. Everybody should come on. It should be all automated. It should be really easy. But a couple things. One is the regulatory environment and everything that we have to do. So we actually have to, again, KYB the business, the ownership of the business, as well as during the bull runs, we get so many requests coming in. The regulatory environment is much better today than it was. So we just need that to continue to help us out and maybe even remove some of the restrictions. Or, sometimes they're not restrictions, it's unknowns. Mm-hmm. So remove the unknowns, make things clearer so that we could process these applications faster. So unfortunately, I don't think there's anything. Again, as I said earlier, sometimes it takes as much time to onboard a small merchant as it does a global enterprise. Aside from the technical aspect of it, just the onboarding side of it. And unfortunately, that's the case. So, but good news, again, the wait list should be gone soon. And once that's gone, hopefully it won't be back, but, if you are on the wait list, you will be getting an email when you can register, and we have been sending those emails out.
Very good. Very good. So listen up, folks. Check your email boxes.
Yeah.
Don't send 10,000 applications, though. Let's see. And this sort of relates to regulation, and I would agree with you. I mean, this goes back to the Bitcoin conference when Trump spoke. I mean, RFK was there. I mean, there's been so much progress at the federal government level adopting these cryptocurrencies. It's sort of, I know the prophecy was there from the beginning, digital gold, now it's actually called that, central banks will use it. Now, maybe we're not seeing that yet, but we're moving towards it. Banks are now talking about it. So This stuff is happening. And I would agree that we're getting more clarity from regulators in Washington and other governments. I want to say clarity I think there was movement on that today, literally, but I'll go to the question. What direction do you think crypto payments will move over the next 10 years? And what are your thoughts about crypto payments legislation?
Well, in 10 years, I hope it will be mainstream. We've been around 15 years, and I think only 6 of the top 100 e-commerce U.S. companies accept crypto today, and it's all through BitPay. So that means 94 other companies aren't accepting it. I think the biggest thing is education, because these companies don't understand that the benefits to it. They don't understand. This isn't a new credit card. This isn't buy now, pay later. There's $3.5 trillion right now in crypto assets globally. This is money. This is wealth that people want to spend, right? They don't need to register for a credit card or take out another loan and go into debt. This is money that they have. So I hope in 10 years that, all top 100 e-commerce providers accept it. And I know what's going to happen. It's going to take one of the giants. You get Walmart, Amazon, any of those to go on board, and everybody is going to start accepting it. Again, there's really no reason why not to.
Yeah.
And it's funny, people think that, we have conversations all the time with companies and we're trying to educate and they always ask, but we don't want to deal with the volatility. I'm like, well, you don't deal with the volatility because that's why we manage it for you. So wait, we don't have to deal with the volatility. We're like, no. Well, we don't want a crypto wallet. You don't have crypto wallet because you don't have anything to do with the crypto and you're going to get settled directly next business day. And once they hear that, they're like, why aren't we doing this? And we're like, that's what we've been trying to say. Why aren't you doing that? You mentioned AppMex. Some companies get it, right? They've been doing it for a while. And because it's a push payment, because we can't grab it from your wallet unless you give us permission. So it's a push payment. The payment is guaranteed, right? It's irreversible. So there's no fraud chargebacks. And once they hear that, they're like, wait, there's no fraud chargeback. There's no chargebacks. It's irreversible.
Yeah.
It's between you and the customer at that time. If you want to make a refund, you can make a refund, but a customer can't call the company and say, I never received my package or I didn't receive what I wanted to receive. And there's a chargeback now. And once they hear that, they're like, again, we don't know why we're not doing this. We're like, exactly. But the point was that means you can ship your products sooner. You don't have to wait a couple days for it to hit a credit card company,
Right.
see if someone's going to call and complain and say that wasn't them. You can ship sooner. So more and more companies, they should actually require some products and services to be paid exclusively with crypto, because I think it's a better benefit for them and a lot of value for the customer to receive their product or their service sooner too.
Yeah.
So, and as more and more customers understand how to buy crypto or how to receive crypto, Litecoin, they will.
Yeah.
But it's still a younger demographic, even though it spans all ages now.
Right.
Primarily, it's a younger demographic. As far as legislation, again, we just need countries to relax legislation if they have some. But the clarity, as you mentioned, is just make it clear of what it is, what can be done. We hope that you don't have to KYC on every transaction. There was a period there we didn't have to KYC on transactions, and then they started including these thresholds. And now that in some countries, it's every transaction we have to KYC on. You just got to eliminate that. I mean, you don't KYC someone when they come in and buy something with $20. So why do you do it for other payment options? So treat all payment options the same. That's how it should be.
Yeah, fair enough on that, and detax them. I think that's another big barrier too. If you're going to use money, you're not taxed. I mean, sales tax, of course, we have taxes, but the currency itself is not taxed. I mean, of course, there's income taxes. Not every state has them. We're talking about the United States kind of environment, but foreign exchange shouldn't be taxed. I think that would be an absolute liberation if, we can go and swipe, whether it's there are cards that are connected to blockchain, use BitPay, whatever, send a wallet person to person, send your Litecoin for whatever it is, and not have to feel like you need to keep and granted, it's really easy with a blockchain to actually keep that record. But the point is to not have to report every single, moment. Now, they're talking about de minimis exemptions. In fact, I think that was is in the Clarity Act, but that's a start. I think that's really weak. I mean, we'll take it because, you can look even in, speaking of precious metals, now inflation sort of eats into this, but I think it's something about $10,000 in a 24-hour period is basically under the table. That's what and I'm not a tax expert, but I know gold merchants, silver merchants, if there's one down the street, they'll know about that legal carve out where there's a certain period of time where basically taxes don't work the same way. And people like that. It facilitates movement, taxes stop movement, so I think detaxing these currencies and treating them more like dollars would be extremely, extremely helpful for actually using these day to day. Because unfortunately, now you guys are making a big impact on allowing us to use our currency despite the environment, which is awesome. And we do have to thank you for that and going on 15 years. But unfortunately, retail, it seems point of sale, that's gone backwards, especially in the environment where these are stocks, we don't spend them anymore. It's a big challenge when it's no, we still believe these are money and they should be used for payments.
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah, 100% agree with that. But at the same point, we're excited.
Yeah.
There still is no better way to digitally transact, to send payment cross border, than on the blockchain with Litecoin. So we're excited about that. So I think it's not going away, right? And I think governments are finally understanding this. It's not going away.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to be able to work with it. So how do we work with it?
Yeah.
And that's all we ask. Just admit it's not going away, but let's have a system in place where you can work with it and not hurt the growth of it. I mean, just the blockchain in general, all the companies involved with the blockchain it's huge now.
Yeah.
So, and we want the United States to be a leader too. And I think we can be a leader. And I think in the past 12 months, we've shown that we are going to be a leader. But I know more and more other countries are going to step up to it because they want to be the leader too.
Let them compete.
Which is
Sounds
great.
good to me.
That's right. That's right.
Well, Merrick, this is amazing. Again, we have to say, I think I speak on behalf of the Litecoin community. We're very grateful Litecoin is on BitPay, that we can use it, that we are using it, that the world is using it. We appreciate your time. Thanks for coming on the show. Any final words you want to leave us with before we kind of end it?
Look for those companies that are offering Litecoin back, because there are companies out there. I know we have one partner, I think it's Stack Mobile, where it's a mobile plan. You can get Litecoin back every month. So, that's one way to consistently receive Litecoin, but also support those companies that accept it or as a pay in or payout model too. So again, there's no better foundation than the Litecoin Foundation. The amount of love and awareness that you guys show is amazing, or they show. So we love that, and that's what you got to keep it up. You got to keep that up. You got to make sure that everybody in the world knows all about Litecoin and what it can do, and the people that are accepting it and the people that are working with it, and then we all win, right?
Yep.
And that's what we want.